Hello. Welcome to the Merriment stream. Yeah, tonight we're gonna be reading some more Mark of Athena, and I hope you'll enjoy it as much as I do. Let's see. Let's give you a recap on my day. My day was pretty darn good. I woke up. I got some breakfast in me. Woke up later than anticipated, but I'm kind of alright with that. I felt I needed it. So I woke up, made myself some eggs, ate them on up, and then, yeah, came upstairs to chill for a bit, play some TFT, Teamfight Tactics. Love that game. And then I jumped into my workout. I do, if you wanted to know, I do 1,100 swings of a sword every day. Every day that I can, at least. I usually take Sundays off as, a day of rest. But, yeah, I do that, and then I kick into some training. I walk on down to a little field and do handstands, kicks, flips, whatever, suits my fancy that day. And yeah, it gets my body moving, it gets me grooving. Usually listen to, some good music as I do it. And then I finish it with a good old run. It's a solid routine. I got back from that, and it was time for my chiropractic appointment, so I swung on over there, got adjusted, which was super nice. I love my chiropractor, especially since it's been helping me through the neck pain and such that I got from a rear ender, where a guy kathunked my the rear of my car, sent my head flying backwards. She's been very crucial in helping me get past that. Yeah, let's see. After that, I stopped by Whole Foods, saw my buddy Coleman, and picked up a couple ingredients that I was wanting to get to try my hand at making another batch of zucchini bread. It's a recipe that my mom made a long time ago, when I was a kid. We made it again together pretty recently, and now I figured, hey, I'll give it a try myself, so that I can, add that tool to my tool belt. I can become a baker, which is pretty sweet. Honestly, I think it would be quite wonderful to, be able to bake cakes for, I don't know, any kind of celebration, maybe my kids' birthdays later down the road, stuff like that. And plus, I feel that baking is a easy way to breathe life into a household. That smell wafts through every room, and yeah, it just kind of livens it up. So I successfully made the zucchini bread, and now I appear before you, ready to read some Mark of Athena. Alright, let's jump into the recap. Last time on the Mark of Athena, we were able to switch over to Leo's perspective. Leo being the son of Hephaestus, who has ADHD, can shoot fire out of his hands, and very recently fired ballistae into Camp Jupiter. The past two chapters were all about his processing of that moment, what went wrong. He himself, he knows that he did it. It wasn't anyone else. He was the one that walked over and fired on Camp Jupiter. What he can't figure out is why. What compelled him to do that? Was he being controlled? He doesn't know. And so, the rest of the demigods on the Argo 2 are unsure of what to make of it. They are looking at Leo, a old trusted friend to some, a stranger to others, such as Frank. And they're looking at him, wondering, what the heck, Leo? You might have just started a civil war. Something that civil wars between demigods in the past have caused disastrous tragedies. Massive wars have been sprung up by conflict between Roman and Greek demigods throughout the years. So if this really breaks out, it could mean a World War III, basically. So Leo messed up big time. He tries to make up for it by going with Hazel to try to retrieve some lime, is in the stone, and some celestial bronze. It looks good for the two of them. They find plenty of lime, but then they come across a broken down motorcycle and some lady dressed up and down in black leather. It's revealed that she is Nemesis, as she breaks open fortune cookies and changes them to more realistic fortunes and such. She has a conversation with Leo and Hazel, saying that she is Nemesis both in Roman and Greek form. So that means her head isn't all fuddled at the moment like the other gods are, and she can help them get revenge on Gaia. She likes tearing down the people with power, and there's no more powerful entity than Gaia herself. So she's willing to help the demigods, but the thing with Nemesis is that she always takes something in return. So she gives some foreboding knowledge to Hazel and Leo, and hands Leo a fortune cookie, saying, if you ever need my assistance, just open that fortune cookie and your problem will be solved. What she left out was, it'll be solved at a price. So, goodness, let's figure out what that means, shall we? As we jump into chapter 7. One moment, please. Cool. I was waiting for some permission, but just sent out a little message to one of the servers I'm a part of to see if anyone wants to stop by. All right, so without further ado, I'm not sure. Should I leave the music on? I'm kind of digging the groove from it, but it may not fit the feel of the chapter. So we'll pause it for now. All right, this is The Mark of Athena by Rick Riordan. Chapter 7, Leo.
Who is Aunt Rosa?
Hazel asked. Leo didn't want to talk about her. Nemesis's words were still buzzing in his ears. His tool belt seemed heavier, since he'd put the cookie in there, which was impossible. Its pockets could carry anything without adding extra weight. Even the most fragile things would never break. Still, Leo imagined he could feel it in there, dragging him down, waiting to be cracked open. "Long story," he said. "She abandoned me after my mom died, gave me to foster care."
I'm sorry.
"Yeah, well..." Leo was anxious to change the subject. "What about you? What Nemesis said about your brother?" Hazel blinked, like she'd gotten salt in her eyes.
Nico. He found me in the underworld. He brought me back to the mortal world and convinced the Romans at Camp Jupiter to accept me. I owe him for my second chance at life. If Nemesis is right and Nico's in danger, I have to help him.
"Sure, yeah," Leo said, though the idea made him uneasy. He doubted the revenge goddess ever gave advice out of the goodness of her heart. "And what Nemesis said about your brother having 6 days to live, and Rome getting destroyed, any idea what that meant?"
None,
Hazel admitted.
but I'm afraid.
Whatever she was thinking, she decided not to share it. She climbed one of the largest boulders to get a better view. Leo tried to follow and lost his balance. Hazel caught his hand. She pulled him up, and they found themselves atop the rock, holding hands, face to face. Hazel's eyes glittered like gold.
Gold is easy,
She said. It didn't seem that way to Leo, not when he looked at her. He wondered who Sammy was. Leo had a nagging suspicion that he should know, but he just couldn't place the name. Whoever he was lucky if Hazel cared for him. Thanks. Thanks. He let go of her hand, but they were still standing so close, he could feel the warmth of her breath. She definitely didn't seem like a dead person.
When we were talking to Nemesis,
Hazel said uneasily.
Your hands... I saw flames.
Yeah, he said. It's a Hephaestus power. Usually I could keep it under control.
Oh.
She put one hand protectively on her denim shirt, like she was about to say the Pledge of Allegiance. Leo got the feeling she wanted to back away from him, but the boulder was too small. Great, he thought. Another person who thinks I'm a scary freak. He gazed across the island. The opposite shore was only a few hundred yards away. Between here and there were dunes and clumps of boulders, but nothing that looked like a reflecting pool. You will always be the outsider, Nemesis had told him. The seventh wheel. You will not find a place among your brethren. Yo. Hang on, I'll pause for a sec. What's up, Bean Soldier? Let's see what's good. The zucchini bread I just made. I'm doing well. Got a good workout in today. I'm on time for my stream. Doing well. And my brother's coming in town, I think tonight. Oh yeah, it's a personal favorite of mine. I was remarking at the start of the stream that it's something that my mom used to make, our family, a long time ago. And she and I just recently, before they left, made a batch of zucchini bread. And so, while they're away, I figured I would try my hand at, baking a couple batches myself. And so far, the second batch looks prettier. Don't know if it tastes better though. I can't tell, but I think it looking better is a plus. So, good stuff. I wish I could share it with you. Anywho, I'd love to give you a recap of what's going on in the story, but perhaps if you have the time, you can scroll back in the VOD. I gave a pretty detailed recap, right before jumping into the reading. Otherwise, I hope you can sit back, relax, and enjoy the Mark of Athena. So, Leo is remarking about what Nemesis had told him.
You will always be the outsider, Nemesis had told him. The seventh wheel. You will not find a place among your brethren. She might as well have poured acid in his ears. Leo didn't need anybody to tell him he was an odd man out. He'd spent months alone in Bunker 9 at Camp Half-Blood, working on his ship while his friends trained together and shared meals and played capture the flag for fun and prizes. Even his two best friends, Piper and Jason, often treated him like an outsider. Since they'd started dating, their idea of quality time didn't include Leo. His only other friend, Festus the Dragon, had been reduced to a figurehead when his control disk had gotten destroyed on their last adventure. Leo didn't have the technical skill to repair it. The seventh wheel. Leo had heard of a fifth wheel, an extra useless piece of equipment. He figured a seventh wheel was worse. He thought maybe this quest would be a fresh start for him. All his hard work on the Argo 2 would pay off. He'd have 6 good friends who would admire and appreciate him, and they'd go sailing off into the sunrise to fight giants. Maybe, Leo secretly hoped, he'd even find a girlfriend. Do the math, he chided himself. Nemesis was right. He might be part of a group of 7, but he was still isolated. He had fired on the Romans and brought his friends nothing but trouble. You will not find a place among your brethren. Yeah. Leo? Hazel asked gently. You can't take what Nemesis said to heart. He frowned. What if it's true? She's the goddess of revenge, Hazel reminded him. Maybe she's on our side, maybe she's not. But she exists to stir up resentment. Leo wished he could dismiss his feelings that easily. He couldn't. Still, it wasn't Hazel's fault. We should keep going, he said. I wonder what Nemesis meant about fishing before dark. We should keep going, he said. I wonder what Nemesis meant about fishing before dark. Hazel glanced at the sun, which was just touching the horizon. And who is the cursed boy she mentioned? Below them, a voice said, Cursed boy she mentioned. At first, Leo saw no one. Then his eyes adjusted. He realized a younger woman was standing only 10 feet from the base of the boulder. Her dress was a Greek-style tunic. Pardon me. Her dress was a Greek-style tunic, the same color as the rocks. Her wispy hair was somewhere between brown and blonde and gray, so it blended with the dried grass. She wasn't invisible, exactly, but she was almost perfectly camouflaged until she moved. Even then, Leo had trouble focusing on her. Her face was pretty, but not memorable. In fact, each time Leo blinked, he couldn't remember what she looked like, and he had to concentrate to find her again. "Hello," Hazel said. "Who are you?" "Who are you?" the girl answered. Her voice sounded weary, like she was tired of answering that question. Hazel and Leo exchanged looks. With this demigod gig, you never know what you'd run into. 9 times out of 10, it wasn't good. A ninja girl camouflaged in earth tones didn't strike Leo as something he wanted to deal with just then. "Are you the cursed kid Nemesis mentioned?" Leo asked. "But you're a girl." "You're a girl," said the girl. "Excuse me?" Leo said. "Excuse me," the girl said miserably. "You're repeating..." Leo stopped. "Oh! Hold it. Hazel, wasn't there some myth about a girl who repeats everything?" "Echo," Hazel said. "Echo," the girl agreed. She shifted, her dress changing with the landscape. Her eyes were the color of the salt water. Leo tried to home in on her features, but he couldn't. "I don't remember the myth," he admitted. "You were cursed to repeat the last thing you heard." "You heard," Echo said. "Poor thing," Hazel said. "If I remember right, a goddess did this?" "A goddess did this," Echo confirmed. Leo scratched his head. "But wasn't that thousands of years?" "Oh, you're one of the mortals who came back through the doors of death. I really wish we could stop running into dead people." "Dead people," Echo said, like she was chastising him. He realized Hazel was staring at her feet. Sorry," he muttered. "I didn't mean it that way." "That way." Echo pointed toward the far shore of the island. "You want to show us something?" Hazel asked. She climbed down the boulder, and Leo followed. Even up close, Echo was hard to see. In fact, she seemed to get more invisible the longer he looked at her. "You sure you're real?" he asked. "I mean, flesh and blood?" "Flesh and blood." She touched Leo's face and made him flinch. Her fingers were warm. "So, you have to repeat everything?" he asked. "Everything." Leo couldn't help smiling. "That could be fun." "Fun," she said unhappily. "Blue elephants." "Blue elephants." "Kiss me, you fool." "You fool." "Hey!" "Hey." "Leo," Hazel pleaded. Don't tease her. Don't tease her, Echo agreed.
Okay, Leo said, though he had to resist the urge. It wasn't every day he met somebody with a built-in talkback feature. So, what were you pointing at? Do you need our help?
Help,
Echo agreed, emphatically. She gestured for them to follow and sprinted down the slope. Leo could only follow her progress by the movement of the grass and the shimmer of her dress as it changed to match the rocks.
We'd better hurry, Hazel said, or we'll lose her.
They found the problem. If you can call a mob of good-looking girls a problem. Echo led them down into a grassy meadow shaped like a blast crater, with a small pond in the middle. Gathered at the edge of the water were several dozen nymphs. At least, Leo guessed they were nymphs. Like the ones at Camp Half-Blood, these wore gossamer dresses. Their feet were bare. They had elvish features, and their skin had a slightly greenish tinge. Leo didn't understand what they were doing, but they were all crowded together in one spot, facing the pond and jostling for a better view. Several held up phone cameras, trying to get a shot over the heads of the others. Leo had never seen nymphs with phones. He wondered if they were looking at a dead body. If so, why were they bouncing up and down and giggling so excitedly? What are they looking at? Leo wondered.
Looking at...
Echo sighed.
One way to find out.
Hazel marched forward and began nudging her way through the crowd.
Excuse me, pardon me.
Hey! One nymph complained.
We were here first.
Yeah, another sniffed.
He won't be interested in you.
The second nymph had large red hearts painted on her cheeks. Over her dress, she wore a t-shirt that read, OMG, I Heart N. Oh, gosh. I'm about to run out of storage. Hang on. Will it last at least to the end of 2 chapters? One moment, please. Oh. Okay. Yeah. Oh, wait. Alright, hold up. I'm just, emptying my recycle bin. Because I believe that'll give us enough time to, at least finish up this stream. It's a little bit stuck. My apologies. I wish I had checked on this earlier. But I thought I'd had enough space. Appears I definitely didn't. Okay. Nice. Got a solid 7.7 gigs. So thankfully, ought to be good from here on. Sorry about that. I will do my best. I have a few of, earlier in the week streams that I've not put onto my not put onto a hard drive yet. Regardless, though, let us continue. Demigod business, Leo said, trying to sound official. Make room! Thanks. Make room! Make room! Thanks. Thanks. The nymphs grumbled, but they parted to reveal a young man kneeling at the edge of the pond, gazing intently at the water. Leo, unusually, didn't pay much attention to how other guys looked. He supposed that came from hanging around Jason. Tall, blonde, rugged, basically everything Leo could never be. Leo was used to not being noticed by girls. At least, he knew he'd never get a girl by his looks. He hoped his personality and sense of humor would do that someday, though it definitely hadn't worked yet. At any rate, Leo couldn't miss the fact that the guy at the pond was one super good-looking dude. He had a chiseled face with lips and eyes that were somewhere between feminine beautiful and masculine handsome. Dark hair swept over his brow. He might have been 17 or 20. It was hard to say, but he was built like a dancer, with long, graceful arms and muscular legs, perfect posture, and an air of regal calm. He wore a simple white t-shirt and jeans, with a bow and quiver strapped to his back. The weapons obviously hadn't been used in a while. The arrows were covered in dust. A spider had woven a web in the top of the bow. As Leo edged closer, he realized the guy's face was unusually golden. In the sunset, the light was bouncing off a large flat sheet of celestial bronze that lay at the bottom of the pond, washing Mr. Handsome's features in a warm glow. The guy seemed fascinated with his reflection in the metal. Hazel inhaled sharply. "He's gorgeous!" Around her, the nymphs squealed and clapped in agreement. "I am," The young man murmured dreamily, his gaze still fixed on the water.
I am so gorgeous.
One of the nymphs showed her iPhone screen.
His latest YouTube video got 1 million hits in like an hour. I think I was half of those.
The other nymphs giggled. YouTube video? Leo asked. What does he do in the video? Sing?
No, silly.
The nymph chided.
He used to be a prince and a wonderful hunter and stuff, but that doesn't matter. Now he just... Well, look.
He showed Leo the video. She showed Leo the video. It was exactly what they were seeing in real life. The guy staring at himself in the pond.
He is so hot,
said another girl. Her t-shirt read, Mrs. Narcissus.
Narcissus?
Leo asked.
Narcissus,
Echo agreed sadly. Leo had forgotten Echo was there. Apparently none of the nymphs had noticed her either.
Oh, not you again.
Mrs. Narcissus tried to push Echo away, but she misjudged where the camouflaged girl was and ended up shoving several other nymphs.
You had your chance, Echo,
said the nymph with the iPhone.
He dumped you 4,000 years ago. You are so not good enough for him. For him,
Echo said bitterly.
Wait.
Hazel clearly had trouble tearing her eyes away from the handsome guy, but she managed it.
What's going on here? Why did Echo bring us here?
One nymph rolled her eyes. She was holding an autograph pen and a crumpled poster of Narcissus.
Echo was a nymph like us a long time ago, but she was a total chatterbox, gossiping, blah 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 blah, all the time. I know,
another nymph shrieked.
Like who could stand that? Just the other day, I told Cleopia, you know she lives in the boulder next to me. I said, stop gossiping or you'll end up like Echo. Cleopia is such a big mouth. Did you hear what she said about the cloud nymph and the satyr? Totally, said the nymph with the poster. So anyway, as punishment for blabbing, Era cursed Echo so she could only repeat things, which was fine with us. But then Echo fell in love with our gorgeous guy, Narcissus, as if he would ever notice her. As if,
said half a dozen others.
Now she's got some weird idea he needs saving.
And, said Mrs. Narcissus,
she should just go away. Go away,
Echo growled back.
I'm so glad Narcissus is alive again,
said another nymph in a gray dress. She had the words Narcissus plus Laea written up and down her arms in black marker.
He's like the best, and he's in my territory. Oh, stop it,
Laea, her friend said.
I'm the pond nymph. You're just the rock nymph. Well, I'm the grass nymph,
another protested.
No, he obviously came here because he likes the wild flowers, another said. Those are mine.
The whole mob began arguing, while Narcissus stared at the lake, ignoring them.
Hold it! Hold it! I need to ask Narcissus something.
Slowly, the nymphs settled down and went back to taking pictures. Leo knelt next to the handsome dude. So, Narcissus, what's up?
Could you move? Narcissus asked distractedly. You're ruining the view.
Leo looked in the water. His own reflection rippled next to Narcissus's. On the surface of the submerged bronze. Leo didn't have any desire to stare at himself. Compared to Narcissus, he looked like an undergrown troll. But there was no doubt the metal was a sheet of hammered celestial bronze, roughly circular, about 5 feet in diameter. What it was doing in this pond, Leo wasn't sure. Celestial bronze fell to earth in odd places. He'd heard that most pieces were cast off from his dad's various workshops. Hephaestus would lose his temper when projects didn't work out, and he'd toss his scraps into the mortal world. This piece looked like it might have been meant as a shield for a god, but it hadn't turned out properly. If Leo could get it back to the ship, it would be just enough bronze for his repairs. Right? Great view, Leo said. Happy to move, but if you're not using it, could I just take that sheet of bronze?
No, Narcissus said. I love him. He's so gorgeous.
Leo looked around to see if the nymphs were laughing. This had to be a huge joke. But they were swooning and nodding in agreement. Only Hazel seemed appalled. She wrinkled her nose as if she'd come to the conclusion that Narcissus smelled worse than he looked. Man, Leo said to Narcissus, you do realize you're looking at yourself in the water, right?
I am so great.
Narcissus sighed. He stretched out a hand longingly to touch the water, but held back.
No, I can't make ripples. That ruins the image. Wow, I am so great.
Yeah, Leo muttered. But if I took the bronze, you could still see yourself in the water. Or here. He reached in his tool belt and pulled out a simple mirror the size of a monocle. I'll trade you. Narcissus took the mirror, reluctantly, and admired himself.
Even you carry a picture of me. I don't blame you. I am gorgeous. Thank you.
He set the mirror down and returned his attention to the pond.
But I already have a much better image. The color flatters me, don't you think?
Oh gods, yes!
A nymph screamed.
Marry me, Narcissus! No, me!
Another cried.
Would you sign my poster? No, sign my shirt! No, sign my forehead! No, sign my...
Stop it!
Hazel snapped.
Stop it.
Echo agreed. Leo had lost sight of Echo again, but now he realized she was kneeling on the other side of Narcissus, waving her hands in front of his face, as if trying to break his concentration. Narcissus didn't even blink. The Nymph Fan Club tried to shove Hazel out of the way, but she drew her cavalry sword and forced them back.
Snap out of it!
She yelled. He won't sign your sword, the poster nymph complained. He won't marry you, said the iPhone girl.
And you can't take his bronze mirror. That's what keeps him here.
You're all ridiculous, Hazel said. He's so full of himself. How can you possibly like him? Like him?
Echo sighed, still waving her hand in front of his face. The others sighed along with her.
I am so hot,
Narcissus said sympathetically.
Narcissus, listen.
Hazel kept her sword at the ready.
Echo brought us here to help you. Didn't you, Echo? Echo,
said Echo. Who? Or sorry,
who?
Narcissus said.
The only girl who cares what happens to you, apparently,
Hazel said.
Do you remember dying?
Narcissus frowned.
No, that can't be right. I am much too important to die. You died staring at yourself,
Hazel insisted.
I remember the story now. Nemesis was the goddess who cursed you because you broke so many hearts. Your punishment was to fall in love with your own reflection. I love me so much,
Narcissus agreed.
You finally died,
Hazel continued.
I don't know which version of the story is true. You either drowned yourself or turned into a flower hanging over the water. Or, Echo, which is it? Which is it?
She said hopelessly. Leo stood. It doesn't matter. The point is, you're alive again, man. You have a second chance. That's what Nemesis was telling us. You can get up and get on with your life. Echo is trying to save you. Or you can stay here and stare at yourself until you die again.
Stay here!
All of the nymphs screamed.
Marry me before you die!
Another squeaked. Narcissus shook his head.
You just want my reflection. I don't blame you. But you can't have it. I belong to me.
Hazel sighed in exasperation. She glanced at the sun, which was sinking fast. Then she gestured with her sword toward the edge of the crater. You know, those beats kind of went pretty well with the reading. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I dug it. Hazel sighed in exasperation. She glanced at the sun, which was sinking fast. Then she gestured with her sword toward the edge of the crater.
Leo, could we talk for a minute?
Excuse us, Leo told Narcissus. Echo, you wanna come with?
Come with,
Echo confirmed. The nymphs clustered around Narcissus again, and began recording new videos and taking more photos. Hazel led the way until they were out of earshot.
Nemesis was right,
she said.
Some demigods can't change their nature. Narcissus is going to stay there until he dies again.
No, Leo said.
No,
Echo agreed. We need that bronze, Leo said. If we take it away, it might give Narcissus a reason to snap out of it. Echo could have a chance to save him.
A chance to save him,
Echo said gratefully. Hazel stabbed her sword in the sand.
Shing! It could also make several dozen nymphs very angry with us, she said. And Narcissus might still know how to shoot his bow.
Leo pondered that. The sun was just about down. Nemesis had mentioned that
Narcissus got agitated after dark, probably because he couldn't see his reflection anymore. Leo didn't want to stick around long enough to find out what the goddess meant by agitated. He'd also had experience with mobs of crazed nymphs. He wasn't anxious to repeat that. "Hazel," he said, "your power with precious metals, can you just detect it, or can you actually summon it to you?" She frowned. "Sometimes I can summon it. I've never tried with a piece of celestial bronze that big before. I might be able to draw it to me through the earth, but I'd have to be fairly close. It would take a lot of concentration, and it wouldn't be fast." "Be fast," Echo warned. Leo cursed. He had hoped they could just go back to the ship, and Hazel could teleport the celestial bronze from a safe distance. "All right," he said. "We'll have to try something risky. Hazel, how about you try to summon the bronze from right here? Make it sink through the sand and tunnel over to you. Then grab it and run for the ship." "But Narcissus is looking at it all the time," she said. "All the time," Echo echoed. "That'll be my job," Leo said, hating his own plan already. "Echo and I will cause a distraction." "Distraction?" Echo asked. "I'll explain," Leo promised. "Are you willing?" "Willing," Echo said. "Great," Leo said. "Now, let's hope we don't die." Ooh. Good stuff. Shoot, I don't know. Maybe I'll turn it off for like the really serious moments, or the really intense moments. Maybe I'll try to switch the music for those parts. I've come across a whole slew of really great DMCA free lo-fi, and Riot's whole creator safe playlist is amazing. So perhaps we can have music going on this stream. I think I enjoy it, and I hope you guys do too. It is break skis time once again. So, as always, I encourage you to stretch, get some water, make water, take a whiz, do what you need to do, but I seriously encourage stretching. After we've been sitting here for an hour, it's really good for the body to stand up and move. So, take my word for it, get up during the break, and once you're back, enjoy the jams. We will return in about 10 minutes' time. I love you very much, and I'll see you soon.
All right. Hey, how's it going? I'm back. It's good to be back. I got some good stretching in. Did a little handstand over there. Did a straddle stretch, a pike stretch, and a little butterfly. Some good stuff. I forgot to stretch after my workout today, so I kind of needed it. But yeah, I hope your guys' break was as smooth as mine was, and I hope you're ready for the next chapter of the Mark of Athena. As I said, I think I'm gonna let the music play real low in the background. And yeah, I'll try to go back in the VOD and see how it sounds. But in my headphones, sounds pretty good. Okay. Now, everybody, sit back, relax, and enjoy this next chapter. This is The Mark of Athena by Rick Riordan. Chapter 8, Leo. Leo psyched himself up for an extreme makeover. He summoned some breath mints and a pair of welding goggles from his tool belt. The goggles weren't exactly sunglasses, but they'd have to do. He rolled up the sleeves of his shirt. He used some machine oil to grease back his hair. He stuck a wrench in his back pocket. Why exactly? He wasn't sure. And he had Hazel draw a tattoo on his bicep with a marker. Hot stuff, with a skull and crossbones.
What in the world are you thinking?
She sounded pretty flustered. I try not to think, Leo admitted. It interferes with being nuts. Just concentrate on moving that celestial bronze. Echo, you ready?
Ready,
she said. Leo took a deep breath. He strutted back toward the pond, hoping he looked awesome and not like he had some sort of nervous affliction. Leo is the coolest!
Leo is the coolest!
Echo shouted back. Yeah, baby, check me out!
Check me out,
Echo said. Make way for the king!
the king!
Narcissus is weak!
Weak!
The crowd of nymphs scattered in surprise. Leo shooed them away, as if they were bothering him. Hang on. I've got... Let me switch the music here. I want to redo that scene. See if this, see how this sounds. Let's see. Leo took a deep breath. He strutted back toward the pond, hoping he looked awesome, and not like he had some sort of nervous affliction. Leo is the coolest!
Leo is the coolest!
Echo shouted back. Yeah, baby, check me out!
Check me out!
Echo said. Make way for the king!
The king!
Narcissus is weak!
Weak!
The crowd of nymphs scattered in surprise. Leo shooed them away as if they were bothering him.
No autographs, girls. I know you want some Leo time, but I'm way too cool. You better just hang around that ugly dweeb Narcissus. He's lame. Lame,
Echo said with enthusiasm. The nymphs muttered angrily.
what are you talking about?
One demanded.
You're lame,
Said another. Leo adjusted his goggles and smiled. He flexed his biceps, though he didn't have much to flex, and showed off his hot stuff tattoo. He had the nymphs' attention, if only because they were stunned. But Narcissus was still fixed on his own reflection.
You know how ugly Narcissus is?
Leo asked the crowd.
He's so ugly. When he was born, his mama thought he was a backward centaur. With a horse butt for a face.
Some of the nymphs gasped. Narcissus frowned, as though he was vaguely aware of a gnat buzzing around his head.
You know why his bow has cobwebs?
Leo continued.
He uses it to hunt for dates, but he can't find one. Boom!
One of the nymphs laughed. The others quickly elbowed her into silence. Narcissus turned and scowled at Leo.
Who are you? I'm the supersized McShizzle, man.
Leo said. Hang on, I think we actually still need this one. Narcissus turned and said, and scowled at Leo.
Who are you? I'm the supersized McShizzle, man.
Leo said.
I'm Leo Valdez, bad boy supreme. And the ladies love a bad boy. Love a bad boy,
Echo said with a convincing squeal. Leo took out a pen and autographed the arm of one of the nymphs.
Narcissus is a loser. He's so weak, he can't bench press a Kleenex. He's so lame. When you look up lame on Wikipedia, it's got a picture of Narcissus. Only the picture's so ugly, no one ever checks it out.
Narcissus knit his handsome eyebrows. His face was turning from bronze to salmon pink. For the moment, he'd totally forgotten about the pond, and Leo could see the sheet of bronze sinking into the sand.
What are you talking about?
Narcissus demanded.
I am amazing. Everyone knows this. Amazing at pure suck,
Leo said.
If I was as suck as you, I'd drown myself. Oh wait, you already did that.
Another nymph giggled, then another. Narcissus growled, which did make him look a little less handsome. Meanwhile, Leo beamed and wiggled his eyebrows over his goggles and spread his hands, gesturing for applause.
That's right, he said. Team Leo for the win! Team Leo for the win!
Echo shouted. She'd wriggled into the mob of nymphs, and because she was so hard to see, the nymphs apparently thought the voice came from one of their own.
Oh my god! I am so awesome!
Leo bellowed.
So awesome! Echo yelled back. He is funny, a nymph ventured. And cute, in a scrawny way, another said. Scrawny? Leo asked. Baby, I invented scrawny. Scrawny is the new sizzling hot. And I got the scrawny. Narcissus? He's just a loser. Even the underworld didn't want him. He couldn't get the ghost girls to date him. Ew, said a nymph. Ew, Echo agreed.
Stop!
Narcissus got to his feet.
This is not right. This person is obviously not awesome. So he must be.
He struggled for the right words. It had probably been a long time since he'd talked about anything other than himself.
He must be tricking us.
Apparently Narcissus wasn't completely stupid. Realization dawned on his face. He turned back to the pond.
The bronze mirror is gone. My reflection. Give it back to me.
Team Leo! One of the nymphs squealed. The others returned their attention to Narcissus. But the others returned their attention to Narcissus.
I'm the beautiful one.
Narcissus insisted.
He's stolen my mirror, and I'm going to leave unless we get it back.
The girls gasped. One pointed. There! Hazel was at the top of the crater, running away as fast as she could while lugging a large sheet of bronze. Get it back! Cried a nymph, probably against her will. Echo muttered, Get it back.
Yes!
Narcissus unslung his bow and grabbed an arrow from his dusty quiver.
The first one who gets that bronze, I will like you almost as much as I like me. I might even kiss you. Right after I kiss my reflection.
Oh my god!
The nymph screamed.
And kill those demigods.
Narcissus added, glaring very handsomely at Leo.
They are not as cool as me.
Leo could run pretty fast when someone was trying to kill him. Sadly, he'd had a lot of practice. Alright, hold up. Not sure if this song is the right fit now. See if I can get a different one. Yeah. Leo could run pretty fast when someone was trying to kill him. Sadly, he'd had a lot of practice. He overtook Hazel, which was easy, since he was struggling with 50 pounds of celestial bronze. She was struggling with 50 pounds of celestial bronze. He took one side of the metal plate and glanced back. Narcissus was knocking an arrow, but it was so old and brittle, it broke into splinters.
Ow!
He yelled very attractively.
My manicure!
Normally nymphs were quick, at least the ones at Camp Half-Blood were, but these were burdened with posters, t-shirts, and other Narcissus TM merchandise. The nymphs also weren't great at working as a team. They kept stumbling over one another, pushing and shoving. Echo made things worse by running along with them, tripping and tackling as many as she could. Still, they were closing rapidly.
Call Arian!
Leo gasped.
Already did!
Hazel said. They ran for the beach. They made it to the edge of the water and could see the Argo too, but there was no way to get there. It was much too far to swim, even if they hadn't been toting bronze. Leo turned. The mob was coming over the dunes, Narcissus in the lead, holding his bow like a band major's baton. The nymphs had conjured assorted weapons. Some held rocks, some had wooden clubs wreathed in flowers. A few of the water nymphs had squirt guns, which seemed not quite as terrifying, but the look in their eyes was still murderous.
Oh man, Leo muttered, summoning fire in his free hand.
Straight up fighting isn't my thing.
Hold the celestial bronze.
Hazel drew her sword.
Get behind me!
Get behind me.
Echo repeated. The camouflaged girl was racing ahead of the mob now. She stopped in front of Leo and turned, spreading her arms as if she meant to personally shield him. Echo? Echo? Leo could hardly talk with the lump in his throat.
You're one brave nymph.
Brave nymph?
Her tone made it a question.
I'm proud to have you on Team Leo, he said. If we survive this, you should forget Narcissus.
Forget Narcissus?
She said uncertainly.
You're way too good for him.
The nymphs surrounded them in a semicircle.
Trickery!
Narcissus said.
They don't love me, girls. We all love me, don't we?
Yeah!
The girls screamed, except for one confused nymph in a yellow dress who squeaked,
Team Leo!
Kill them!
Narcissus ordered. The nymphs surged forward, but the sand in front of them exploded. Arian raced out of nowhere, circling the mob so quickly he created a sandstorm, showering the nymphs in white lime, spraying their eyes.
I love this horse!
Leo said. The nymphs collapsed, coughing and gagging. Narcissus stumbled around blindly, swinging his bow like he was trying to hit a piñata. Hazel climbed into the saddle, hoisted up the bronze, and offered Leo a hand.
We can't leave Echo!
Leo said.
Leave Echo,
The nymph repeated. She smiled, and for the first time, Leo could clearly see her face. And for the first time, Leo could clearly see her face. She really was pretty. Her eyes were bluer than he'd realized. How had he missed that? Why? Leo asked. You don't think you can still save Narcissus?
save Narcissus,
she said confidently. And even though it was only an echo, Leo could tell that she meant it. She'd been given a second chance at life. She was determined to use it to save the guy she loved, even if he was a completely hopeless, though very handsome, moron. Leo wanted to protest, but Echo leaned forward and kissed him on the cheek, then pushed him gently away.
Leo, come on!
Hazel called. The other nymphs were starting to recover. They wiped the lime out of their eyes, which were now glowing green with anger. Leo looked for Echo again, but she had dissolved into the scenery. Yeah, he said, his throat dry. Yeah. Okay. He climbed up behind Hazel. Arian took off across the water, the nymph screaming behind them, and Narcissus shouting,
Bring me back! Bring me back!
As Arian raced toward the Argo II, Leo remembered what Nemesis had said about Echo and Narcissus.
perhaps they'll teach you a lesson.
Leo had thought she'd meant Narcissus, but now he wondered if the real lesson
for him was Echo. Invisible to her brethren, cursed to love someone who didn't care for her. A seventh wheel. Leo had thought she'd met Narcissus, but now he wondered if the real lesson for him was Echo. Invisible to her brethren, cursed to love someone who didn't care for her. A seventh wheel. He tried to shake that thought. He clung to the sheet of bronze like a shield. He was determined never to forget Echo's face. She deserved at least one person who saw her and knew how good she was. Leo closed his eyes, but the memory of her smile was already fading.
Man, that was good. Whew. Oh boy, dude, this series does a great job at adding in action scenes throughout the book. You know, the intro was already a lot with Camp Jupiter getting fired upon by the Argo 2, but soon after they meet another goddess, two more folks who had come back alive from the doors of death, granted a second life from Gaia. So cool, man. And gosh, yeah, the way that Rick Riordan uses past mythology to bolster these new stories that are set in modern times is really clever. I think that the lesson that Leo did learn through watching Echo, I think that one was pretty important. A lot of us out there believe we're kind of invisible, that we blend into the background, that we are essentially nobody. I think Leo feels that way a lot of the time. And it's important to remember that even if that were the case, that's okay. Keep striving towards your goals. Keep doing your best. And soon enough, you'll find progress. You'll find those who love you, who know you. So guys, that's my message as we leave off tonight. If for some reason you don't got one now, you'll find someone that knows you. You'll find someone that loves you. And once you do know that person, do the same for them. Take care of yourselves, guys. Hold up, let me get the outro music going. Yeah, take care of yourself, guys. Hoping to jump back into some more Mark of Athena come tomorrow. I would really like to keep experimenting with throwing on some music tracks during certain scenes, because personally I felt that the music really brought that last end to that chapter to life. And you know, the whole point of my channel is to practice voice acting, yes, but also to get the experience of breathing life into stories. And so, if I can get better and better at that, and if music will add a little extra something to it, then that's what I want to do. Alright, remember to take the merriment that we fostered tonight here. Let it set you at ease as you lay your head on your pillow. Let it carry you into tomorrow. Remember to love yourself, guys. I love you very much. I love me very much. And, yeah, I hope to catch you on another stream. Till then, guys, good night.